Welcome back to another episode of Alestletics. Sam here joining you alongside with Audrey O'Rennick, and we're back. It's spring 2026. Hooray!
Well, I'd say it's winter.
Well, it is winter.
Actually, it's winter.
The spring semester, for clarifications.
Just so everyone is aware.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would have known otherwise, but
yeah, without us, where would you be? Well, right now you're listening to a sports podcast, not the weather report, but we're back, and we have a whole new exciting announcement that I've already made like 15 times, and people are probably going to be like, this guy needs to shut up about how we're publishing every single week now. But that doesn't just apply to our other podcast, which released last weekend. That applies to this podcast, which will now be publishing every single week. Audrey and I we'll just slave away in the booth and try to bring you good sports news.
I guess I have to talk to this guy.
Sigh. Who knows? We might break out in a fight. We might have like a...
What's new, though?
Yeah, well, I meant like hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, none of that, because I'd definitely be winning, and everybody would be.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Well, we'll save wrestling for a different part of later in the episode. Let's jump right into some sports news, not necessarily on the court or field, but on the jerseys, actually. The NCAA recently just approved ads on jerseys here, and so we have a post from my new obsession, by the way, is from Andrew Gavin's not tweets, they're posts on X. But we have him saying, on Friday, the NCAA approved the use of commercial logos on uniforms beginning in 2026-27. What logo should appear on the Cougars uniforms next year? #RollCougs.
The hashtag really does it for me.
It sends the whole thing.
I love it.
This was posted almost a week ago. This was last Friday. This is what he's referring to. But I figured it sparks conversation. We have quite a few major sponsors here at SIUE. Few off the top of my head. First Community Bank is one, and then we also have Prairie Farms. But Audrey, who do you want to see wearing the sponsorship on the SIUE Cougars logo or jersey?
I want something unexpected.
Yeah.
I want something new. Give me a new sponsorship. Something fresh.
Something like major. I know last year, remember when we were in sports journalism, like they signed a sponsorship with First Form, then they did one recently with, that's like the new deck. I think it's JF Electric. That was the other one. So not like, I don't know, we could see something interesting, but it's a change here in the college sports world.
It is.
As it always evolves. And moves.
Well, yes.
But let's jump into the action of our SIUE Cougar athletes here. So we're going to start with women's basketball. Obviously, they had a great start to the season, and we had them on our show, and I think it may have cursed them.
No! It's because Louie wasn't here. Well, Louie was here, but not here yet.
So while head coach Sam Smith was on the show, she was pre-Louie era, and since the Louie era has began, things have looked a little bit better. But let's go over the records. Right now, they're 10-11 overall, 3-8 in OVC play, back-to-back wins over Tennessee State and Tennessee Tech. I guess SIUE just loves winning in Tennessee. I don't know what the state of Tennessee did to them, but they beat both of them, and in their house too, on the road. No, I'm sorry, I lied. That was at home. They did not beat them. Tennessee is not allowed to come to the state of Illinois. I changed the whole narrative.
Right.
Yesterday, though, 2 days ago, the Cougars lost to Morehead State, though, breaking that 2-game winning streak 64-60, and their next game will be tonight at 5 p.m. against Southern Indiana. And other news with the team, Louie's just bringing luck to everyone here for this women's basketball team. Lauren Miller won her 5th OVC Freshman of the Week. She leads the team in both conference and overall points with 264 on the season. And yeah, that's a pretty good start for the freshman. Hopefully she'll continue and maybe help drag the team out of this slump. So obviously they were 7-3 going into OVC play. That 10-11 record tells you they've struggled. But as we mentioned, Louie, which is Coach Sam's son, was born late December. Very exciting. I believe Coach Sam only missed one game, if I have
and
that.
She was right back in action.
It was not long. And I know the team had been struggling. Like, they didn't win the game. She was not there. But with Louie in attendance for those 2 games over the Tennessee teams, they won both games. And I'll put this graphic up on YouTube, so if you're listening on Spotify, go check it out on YouTube. But I'll show the post of Louie telling his mom, like, hey, coach, I think we've got something figured out here.
He's a good luck charm.
He is a good luck charm. So we'll see if Louie continues to bring the luck as the Cougars keep playing throughout the season and they try to battle back and kind of overcome the rough start. The Moorhead game, I think it's a telling story. Moorhead's a very good team. They only lost by 4. Things are kind of on the up and up. But women's basketball is not all the basketball we have here.
We also have men's basketball, who is doing slightly better. They have a 13-9 overall record, and then 6-5 in the OVC. They beat SIUE away, which is, well, the rivalry. Yeah,
the rematch of last season's OVC championship game, which sent the Cougars to the March Madness bracket.
So at SIUE, they actually beat them, and then they got back-to-back wins at home right after that. And then with Moorhead State, they only lost by a few, so it kind of same narrative with the women's basketball. Okay,
no.
67 to that one. I'm sorry, 67 to 65 to Moorhead State, and that was yesterday.
Yes, or no, that was on Thursday. So the Cougars will play today, Saturday, and then they lost on Thursday. So their 3-game winning streak ended Thursday against Moorhead. So the next game is today, also with the women against Southern Indiana. So yeah, I mean, basketball, it hasn't been as spectacular as probably most hoped, but beating SIUE, I think, is the storyline. Like, SIUE's done well since that game. I think they've won 3 in a row. So I mean, but that was the former regular season champs. So I think that's an impressive feat. Also, we have to mention the fact that SIUE basketball right across the river is just dominating in their conference as well. They are 20-1. I believe they're ranked by the AP poll in the top 24 maybe. They're either 24 or they're in the top 20. Not sure where they've been ranked since. But Robbie Avila has been just dominating for this team. They played George Washington University, and they were down, I believe, by 15 points at one point in the game, came back, 3 buzzer beater, and they won the game. So that was a really interesting. It's just something that's to keep an eye on if you're watching the Cougars basketball and you're looking for another team to watch on the every other night. Maybe check out SIUE as they continue their historic run. They have not done this well in a long time. Moving on, though, Audrey, what about tennis? Tennis, well, along with some of the other sports, tennis was affected by the weather, and their most recent match was canceled and rescheduled. But that doesn't mean they're still 2-0.
I mean, yeah, they're still starting strong. And tennis, for the past few years has just been dominating, I would say. They are very, very talented team, and so they're actually going to have their home opener today versus Northern Iowa at 2:30 p.m. and that will be at home. That's going to be at the Edwardsville Y. Meyer Center.
Yeah.
And like Sam said, they are currently 2-0 overall. So
yeah, and I wrote about it in my view from the sideline, but they had a loss of a really talented player, but I feel like they're going to overcome it. They have more players on the roster this year. It seems like they find good recruits when they're scouting for that. Not something to be worried about if you're tennis, and I think it could be a good season for the SIUE Cougars there. Other teams, golf starting up here. They're traveling to Arizona to meet Loyola Intercollegiate on February 15th. I think they're playing them in a tournament-style thing, so that's going to be a few days. The OVC player to watch, or preseason player to watch, I should say, was Brady Kaufman, and we know him well. He does
100%.
Every season. It's his senior year, so hopefully he can go out with a bang and carry the Cougars to another successful golf season as a team, but also for Kaufman as an individual. Now we have some of the upcoming sports along with golf, and probably the ones I'm most excited for this season, as they did really well. Both teams did really well last year, and that's baseball and softball. Both teams, I going into last season, did not have high expectations for either. whether it was middle of the pack or whatever, but both teams placed second in the OVC standings. Softball made it to the finals and lost to EIU. We talked about that, the tragic loss of 1-0. It's very sad, but this year could be the year to keep an eye on, because what I noticed is softball seemed to get a lot younger in talent, as well as baseball stayed on a very steady path. So it feels like the dynamics of the teams are a bit different, whereas I thought last year softball kind of had the same dynamic as they did the year prior to that, and baseball kind of had some changes to it. But let's go over some of the statistics going into this. So softball, interestingly, is going to be playing 4 tournament-style series before OVC conference play. That's 20 games in total, so which I believe baseball will play 20 games before conference play as well, but the way that softball has it structured is like a tournament style. So
so it's like all in like kind of one stretch.
One weekend. It's like 5 games within a weekend. And I don't know if all 5 games are guaranteed. I don't know if they have to win 2 to get to play the last one, but still, that's even if they don't play all 20, like 15 games is still quite a bit. The first game is February 6th versus Idaho State in Fresno, California. Don't know why we're playing Idaho and California.
That's crazy.
But there you go. So softball will get a nice team bonding trip to the sunny state on the West Coast. And then the OVC player to watch, and there was a few, but the one that was most noted by the OVC was Kaylin Fahey, also a senior. I know Audrey and I particularly were impressed with the performance of Avery Arwood, so I have her as our player to watch for going into the season. The freshman pitcher last year who pitched in that 1-0 loss against EIU. So and that was in extra innings as well. So
she did her big one. Yeah,
she really did. You can't blame a pitcher for only allowing 1 run in a 9-inning game,
especially as a freshman.
So the fact that she's still here is exciting.
Yeah.
So sophomore year for her, I know there's a lot of freshmen joining alongside her, 8 to be exact, which is a really, like I said, it's kind of a young, experienced team. Not saying that they're not talented softball players at all, but the college level is kind of an adjustment. And they only have 5 juniors and seniors on the team. So very limited experience or age in this lineup. Not that it's not impressive, it's good talented on that front, but still kind of interesting to see how the leadership will go and if the young ones can kind of pick up where the graduated seniors.
Especially we saw Avery come in her senior year and completely dominate. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any more freshmen that kind of take that same track and just completely dominate. So it's going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the scouting, if they can hit gold more than once, because they kind of hit gold there with Avery Arwood.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's softball.
So moving on to baseball, they face North Alabama 3 times starting February 13th.
That's like a legit baseball, like an MLB's kind of style series on February 13th.
Yeah.
Or I believe it's 13th, 14th, and 15th, but still.
It's starting, it's that weekend. And then the OVC preseason player to watch is not published yet, but
I believe there's a few picks to make for the OVC, and they have yet to release like which one is on like the master list for all the teams. You know, a lot of the teams get at least 1 pick. I know Chase Bloomer is highly considered, and there's another too that's slipping my mind at the moment. But what I put is Chase Bloomer or everyone for us, because it's like I said, it's very similar team. There's a lot of similar talent. I know it's kind of a cop-out, but
of course you wouldn't say that about softball.
No, I would say it about softball, but there's so many new people.
Yeah.
So
it's just you don't really know.
Right. So like a freshman could just come out and dominate like Arwood did last year, and that's kind of why I hand the baton to her, just because it's like, well, she carried the team.
Yes, like there's no doubt about it.
And so we'll see. For me, baseball could be one of those where there's 2 or 3 that. What I really like about the dynamic of baseball is they have a guy that steps up every other night. So like it's no one, kind of what Coach Sam when she was on here. Everyone has like their night. I think baseball is built very similarly, and that could be telling. So we'll see. Wrestling, not fighting here in the studio. Wrestling, as in SIUE wrestling, they have had an exciting season as well. They are playing their next MAC opponent, Central Michigan, again, victim of the snowstorm. So this is a rescheduled matchup against Central Michigan on February 6th. And I won't lie, I went to one of the matches working for the ESPN crew, and they were exciting to watch. Like they dominated multiple, like the two teams that were there for this tournament here at SIUE. So it was exciting.
So we actually have Cougars ranking pretty high in national level. We have Caleb Tyus in the 149-pound class at number 3.
Yeah, and he's been there all season long.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So he's definitely a big name to watch. We cover wrestling. It's always him. We should get him on the podcast.
Well, funny enough, he's actually my weights instructor.
I remember that.
I have a class. It's
that's your professor, bro.
It's my he's a graduate student, so he's like a GA professor or whatever it is. And so yeah, I'm learning from the best.
Yeah, literally the best. And then right behind him, we have Marcel Lopez at 23, Brock Woodcock at 29, and Bryson Buke at 32.
Yeah, and Bryson Buke, funny enough, that's his first time being ranked this season, so pretty exciting. Some of the Cougars had some spots like drop a little bit. Very, very few. Like I believe Lopez dropped 4, Woodcock dropped 1, and that just, who knows, maybe someone had a really good week. That's the difficult thing with wrestling. But Buke getting on the rankings this week was pretty exciting, so good for him.
So overall, the team is ranking 19.
Yeah, so their tournament numbers and the team as a tournament, or team when they play in tournaments is being ranked as 19th. National rankings, I mean, that's pretty good, if you ask me.
Especially for, SIUE.
Yeah, and I think one thing that SIUE has advantage in the wrestling department, and we kind of talked about it when the wrestling coaches were here, is Illinois is a known wrestling state in high school, and the Midwest is, so they have that advantage, but got to give it to the coaching staff. The recruitment has been good.
Yeah, especially with the, kind of switch around with the assistant coach kind of taking the
reins next season, yeah. So they're in that transition period.
And they're still excelling.
Yeah, and they've also beaten some really good opponents. They beat Northwestern at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's easy to forget, and they beat the one that I watched. They beat Little Rock, and Little Rock is not a pushover team. So yeah, lots going on that front. But that is it for all we have in coverage of the SIUE Cougars athletics. Obviously, we're looking forward to spending every week with you now. Hopefully, one of our goals is to get more coverage on club sports as well, and other sports around the SIUE campus and in our region. So we'll be seeing you next week right here on Saturday at 10 a.m. And you can listen to this episode here on Spotify or YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on X. As for that, that'll be it.
Bye.